Hey, good morning everyone, TractorMan44 here. So I've got a stack of old, just nasty old pie clamps. And what we'll do is we'll take those things apart. I'm going to straighten these all out on the anvil, then we're going to use these to be the U-shaped parts that go over top of the wheels. And these wheels, my much older brother donated to the project. These are out of the old furniture factory here in town. They're 100 years old plus. I've got to make these U-shapes that go over the top and then extend all the way down to lag bolt the door or screw the door to the front of this. So that's what the plan is. Then the part that's going to go down the front of the door, I took the opportunity to put the pencil to a piece of paper, so it's going to end up something in this order right here. That's what the plan is. So we're going to bust out some junk and see what we can get done today. Went back in there at the anvil and I beat all those clevises straight. So I'm going to slide this in here. Half the diameter of the roller should be the inside height. So if I go right here at 3 inches, hopefully I'll be just beyond this right here, because I want one side to be long to hang down in front of the door. So we'll overcompensate, bend a little over. Now that wheel should fit right in here, and there should be enough clearance for the wheel right there. So if you can see right here, I'm going to be able to cut this hole off, drill me a new axle hole right there above that, and we're still going to have the height required to let that wheel clear this, and then this long piece right here will attach to the door. So let's bend a couple more real quick. There we go, that's what we want. So that we get all axle points exactly the same height, so that all the wheels are the same elevation. Just back these up to the straight edge right here, and I line this up here square, and I put a mark across. That'll be my center punch for all the axle holes. Then a second mark will be where we cut them off. Now I'm going to take these old rusty wheels and we're going to bore this right here, clean that bore up and get it a specific diameter so that I can make some bushings for that. This has an automatic feed function, 3 different speeds of which you can allow that to go down automatically. Now, there's a material called UHMW. It's called UHMW because it's ultra high molecular weight. It's a real dense, or it's real high quality material that you can actually drill and tap, you can machine it, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. It comes in sheets, and it comes in rods, it comes in all kinds of shapes and sizes, whatever. And I got a big old pile of it out of a dumpster 25 years ago or so, and I'm getting down to the tail end of what little bit of scrap I got left. I'm going to use some of that round stock, that UHMW, and I'm going to machine it down to where it fits the board, just a interference fit above the diameter of the board that we just cleaned out those axles. And we're going to go ahead and press those in and use those for bushings, and that way it'll run nice and smooth, you know, on the bolt and everything that's going to go through that fancy looking little horseshoe bend that we're going to be rolling the doors with. What I need to end up with is essentially .666. It's .659, which is a little bit more than 21/32, a little bit less than 11/16. I'm really close. Put a little bevel on the end. There we go. So now I got to duplicate this 4 times because I've got four wheels to go over for the 2 doors. We'll cut that bushing off right there flush with the outside edge of the wheels, and then we'll bore holes to match the bore here, and then that's the size of the axle we'll use, and that'll go right over the top of this, just like that right there, and that should be our wheel that's going to run down the track. There you go. That'll work perfect. 2 down, 2 to go. So that you get a little bit of an idea of what it is that I'm actually doing, Here's one of the U-brackets that I've made. This is a wheel, one of the wheels. I went ahead and put the bushing in. Of course, we got to take that all apart and finish servicing the wheel. But this is going to be bolted through here like this. Is this going to roll in the track? Down the front of the door, we kind of want something decorative off of that. So what I did, took some graph paper and I sat around and drew several different styles or shapes, and then I transferred it to some sheet metal. And so this is what I'm going to be making out of steel to hang on the front of this right here. And of course, painted black. This will be cut off right here to the appropriate length, and then it'll be butt welded right here, and we'll smooth this all down, shine that up nice and neat, and then that's what it's going to ultimately look like. Now I'm not going to film cutting these guys out. I'm cutting them out of like 3/16 plate, the same thickness as what these are right here. But I don't know if I'm going to use a plasma torch. I don't know if I use an oxyacetylene torch. I don't know if I use a grinder. But I don't want to blow sparks on my camera face, so I'll be back once I get those guys cut out. But these all have to be welded now. I've got these beveled so we get real good penetration. I'm going to go ahead and MIG those, and then we'll come back and work them down a little. I ran over to the welding shop and went ahead and welded these guys up just like that right here. Here's two of them that are done. I'm not quite done buffing and all that yet because I got to get more marks out of them before we put the primer and then the gloss black finish on them. But that's essentially what they're going to look like right here. And if you wonder how that's going to work, I'm going to be using leftover channel from that dump trailer repair last year, that tandem axle dump trailer. This is going to be hung up on the wall with tabs up in line with the studs so I can lag bolt into the studs. And then this is going to, the doors are going to rest in the track, and they're going to roll right down the channel iron like this from one side to the other. And of course the door will be hanging almost directly underneath the channel iron. That's what the plan is anyway. These are my barn door trolley system, I guess. What I like to do on thin material like this here is I like to clamp it to a flat workspace like this, and preferably metallic. Go ahead and make my weld, and then let the heat sink of the metal kind of cool it down while it's clamped in place, minimizing the warpage. Then we'll go ahead and grind the one side, turn it over, and then weld the other side. So here's all four of them welded together, reasonably well shined up and ready for Rust-Oleum, and then of course gloss black paint. And then I'll go ahead and drill the holes and everything for the mounting. It should work fine. Next step is going to be building the track that it's going to ride in up on the wall. And what that's going to be is going to be essentially, here's a piece of 2-inch scrap channel iron. I'm going to weld a flat plate onto this right here, and then we'll drill holes that'll line up with the studs, and that's going to support everything. And those tracks will sit that far away from the wall, essentially 2 inches out from the wall, and this should run right down the middle of it. Of course, the length of these bolts will be adjusted, but the door should hang directly underneath it here where my finger is, and that should just run right straight up the wall. And of course, we have to have a little standoff bracket down at the bottom to hold the doors, with a little horizontal roller to hold against the doors as they roll down the track. So you know what? That's as far as we're going to go with this one here. We'll be back whenever we do the next portion. This is Tractorman 44, and I'm out of here, guys.